Deep within the world's jungles lie discoveries that challenge everything we know about human history. We are finding evidence that challenges the very foundations of what we believe we know about our own past. They are discoveries that simply should not be there. The Amazon rainforest. For decades, archaeologists thought it couldn't support large, complex societies. They called it a counterfeit paradise, only small, nomadic tribes, a world without cities. That was the accepted truth, until technology saw through the trees. LiDAR revealed far more than scattered settlements, a vast, interconnected network. In one area, scans exposed the Kasarabi culture, urban centers with 70-foot conical pyramids, perfectly straight causeways stretching for miles, networks of towns and reservoirs, a highly organized urban landscape. This rewrites the history of the Americas. The Amazon wasn't untouched. It was managed and populated. But where did the people go? Why did these thriving cities fall silent and let the jungle reclaim them? For generations, we saw Angkor as a collection of spectacular stone temples, isolated islands of civilization within a vast, untamed jungle. But just as in the Amazon, it was LiDAR technology that peeled back the layers of jungle and time. The scans showed that the temples were the central, sacred core of an enormous, low-density urban landscape that stretched across the jungle for miles. This hidden city was the largest urban complex of the pre-industrial world, covering an area comparable to modern-day Los Angeles. Its population is estimated to have been between 750,000 and 1 million people at its peak in the 12th century. Did this vast, ingenious city become a victim of its own success? Did it simply grow too large, too complicated, until it collapsed under its own weight? We travel now to the Diquís Delta of southern Costa Rica. Here, scattered across the forest floor, lie some of the most baffling artifacts ever discovered. They are the Great Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. Hundreds of them, ranging in size from just a few centimeters to over 2 meters in diameter. What makes them so extraordinary is their perfection. Many are almost perfectly spherical, carved from a hard volcanic rock with a precision that modern sculptors would find difficult to replicate. These spheres were first brought to widespread attention in the 1930s, when a fruit company began clearing the jungle for banana plantations. The purpose of these spheres is a complete mystery. Some were found arranged in geometric patterns, which has led to speculation that they had astronomical significance. How did a pre-industrial society, with no evidence of advanced tools, quarry, carve, and transport these massive, perfect orbs? Why would a culture pour so much energy into creating hundreds of them, only to vanish and leave their perfect, silent sentinels behind? For 500 years, a legend persisted in the dense jungles of La Mosquitia in Honduras. It was the legend of the Ciudad Blanca, the White City. Conquistador Hernán Cortés wrote of a province of immense wealth. Indigenous myths warned that anyone who entered the city would fall ill and die. For centuries, it was dismissed as a myth, until a team of explorers, armed with laser technology, found it. The legend was real. An expedition was mounted to reach the site on foot, a grueling trek through a wilderness filled with venomous snakes and jaguars. What they found was a city untouched for 500 years. At the base of the pyramid, they found an incredible cache of artifacts. The most striking was the head of what appeared to be a were-jaguar. The culture that built this city is a complete mystery. It is not Mayan, but the most unsettling part is the curse. After returning, a significant number of the team became afflicted with a rare parasitic disease called leishmaniasis. The ancient warnings proved eerily prescient. What caused this entire civilization to abandon their city so suddenly, leaving their most sacred objects behind? The civilization of the ancient Maya is one of the most studied in the Americas. We envision their society as a collection of competing city-states. But once again, we were missing the bigger picture. Using LiDAR, archaeologists scanned an enormous area of the P10 jungle. The results were astounding. They showed that the Mayan cities were part of a single, vast, interconnected network, all linked by a web of superhighways. The scans suggest that the Maya lowland supported a population of 10 to 15 million people, far greater than any previous estimate. To feed this megacity, they transformed the landscape, indicating an intensive and sophisticated agricultural system that covered almost every inch of available land. They even found a new, massive pyramid hidden in the center of Tikal itself, which had been mistaken for a natural hill for centuries. How could a population of millions simply vanish, allowing their superhighways and cities to be completely consumed by the jungle? The Nazca lines of Peru are world famous. For decades, they were thought to be unique, a product of the desert that preserved them so perfectly. But in the 1980s, as vast tracts of the Brazilian Amazon were cleared, a stunning discovery was made. The cleared land revealed massive, precise geometric shapes etched into the earth. These were the Amazon geoglyphs. Hundreds have now been found. Enormous circles, squares, and complex patterns, some stretching over 300 meters across. Pollen analysis shows the landscape was not open grassland. It was a managed forest. The creators were not clearing the forest to make their art visible. A society that builds massive art meant to be seen from the sky but hides it within the jungle is a profound contradiction. What was the purpose of these giant hidden shapes? Deep in the Petén jungle lies a place that redefines our understanding of Mayan civilization. This is El Mirador, the lost city of the Maya. The Ladanta complex is simply staggering. Rising over 236 feet, it is one of the largest pyramids in the world by total volume. What makes El Mirador such an anomaly is its age. This city flourished 1,000 years before the classic Mayan period even began. Here was a metropolis with a population of perhaps over 100,000 people. A veritable empire that predated the classic Maya by centuries. Archaeologists have uncovered stunning stucco reliefs, proving the core cosmology of the Maya was already fully formed in this incredibly early period. Why did this colossal city, the cradle of Mayan civilization, collapse so completely that it was utterly abandoned and forgotten for nearly 2 millennia? Our journey continues into the remote highlands of Laos, to a landscape haunted by an ancient enigma. This is the Plain of Jars. The jars are carved from solid rock. Their creation would have required immense labor and organization. Excavations suggest the sites were part of a complex funerary practice. The jars may have been used as primary or secondary burial vessels. Dating suggests this funerary tradition began as early as 1240 BC and may have continued for over 1,000 years. Research is hindered by modern dangers. The plateau was one of the most heavily bombed regions in history, and unexploded ordnance still litters the landscape. Who were these people who chose to memorialize their dead with fields of silent, hollow stones? How can a culture so prominent, so organized, and so enduring disappear so completely from history? We now journey to the island of Borneo, where a discovery was made that fundamentally altered our understanding of human creativity. Inside a cave known as Lubang Jeriji Saleh, researchers found the walls adorned with ancient paintings. The painting of the Banting was found to be at least 40,000 years old, making it the oldest known figurative artwork anywhere on Earth at the time of its discovery. This means that at the same time, or even before, ancient humans were painting in the caves of Ice Age Europe. Another group of people, 13,000 kilometers away, were doing the same. There are also stencils of human hands, a hauntingly personal signature from a long-vanished artist. Here, nomadic hunter-gatherers in a tropical Ice Age jungle made what might be the world's first masterpiece. The jungle was a gallery, a cathedral of a lost people. The jungle-buried pyramids of Guatemala represent a civilization that reached its peak 1,000 years before the Maya we know. This is El Mirador, the cradle of the Maya. The Ladanta complex is one of the largest pyramids in the world by volume, a true man-made mountain that predates the famous city of Tikal by centuries. This was not a developing society. It was a civilization at its absolute peak, an empire that flourished when Mayan civilization was supposedly in its infancy. The core cosmology of the Maya was already fully formed here. El Mirador was not just a city, it was the birthplace of a worldview. Around 150 AD, at the height of its power, El Mirador was suddenly and completely deserted, its vast population seemingly vanished. How much of human history follows this pattern of rise, collapse, and forgetting? What other great first civilizations lie buried beneath the jungles of the world? We leave the jungle canopy for the waters off the coast of Japan, where a structure lies that has ignited one of the most heated debates in modern archaeology. A local diver stumbled upon what looked for all the world like a sunken pyramid, a submerged monument from a lost world. The features are strikingly geometric. To many observers, the precision and scale seem impossible to explain as natural. Geologists argue it's a purely natural phenomenon. Proponents argue the evidence for human intervention is overwhelming. If they're right, the structure would have to have been built on dry land, dating back at least 10,000 years ago. Is it a remarkable example of natural forces? Or is it the last remnant of a civilization so ancient that all other traces have been erased by the rising seas? We now turn our gaze to the heart of Africa, to the Congo Basin. This region is often perceived as a black hole in archaeology, but new evidence is revealing a powerful, sophisticated kingdom. In the Upemba Depression, archaeologists found evidence of a long-lived, complex society. Beginning around the 5th century AD, these people developed a unique culture, mastering their wetland environment. This became the foundation of the Kingdom of Luba. The most enigmatic traces are elaborate burial sites, showing a highly stratified society. Some were interred in massive burial pits. Others were laid to rest in giant pottery urns. This tradition continued for nearly 1,000 years. Their cities were not built of stone, but of earth and wood, which the jungle reclaims with ruthless efficiency. Why has the history of this great jungle kingdom remained in the shadows for so long? Our search takes us to a place that is not a jungle today, but was one in the distant past. This is Göbekli Tepe, arguably the most perplexing archaeological site on the planet. It is a collection of massive T-shaped stone pillars, arranged in circles. But its true significance is its age. Göbekli Tepe was built around 9,600 BC. That's 6,000 years before Stonehenge and 7,000 years before the first pyramids. The area around Göbekli Tepe was a temperate parkland, a forest of Eden. The people who built this were hunter-gatherers. It seems the immense effort of building this cathedral on a hill brought people together, forcing them to cooperate, develop social structures, and eventually invent agriculture to feed the workers. The temple came first, but after 1,500 years of use, the site was deliberately buried. Why would a people spend centuries building the world's first great monument only to intentionally bury it and walk away? The idea that massive earthworks like the Nazca lines could exist in the rainforest seemed impossible. But as the Amazon was cleared, a stunning discovery was made. Hundreds of massive, precise geometric shapes etched into the earth. They are defined by large ditches and earthen banks, negative space art on a monumental scale. Their purpose is an enigma. Were they ceremonial gathering places, defensive structures, or astronomical observatories? The most perplexing aspect is their relationship with the forest. Pollen analysis shows the landscape was a managed forest, not open grassland. They were not clearing the forest to make their art visible. They were creating patterns subtly integrated into the forest itself. A society that builds massive art meant to be seen from the sky, but hides it within the jungle, is a profound contradiction. Our final artifact is perhaps the most unsettling of all. It is the archetype of the out-of-place artifact. Imagine an expedition deep in a remote jungle, excavating a newly discovered tomb. The tomb is sealed, its contents untouched for millennia. Among the pottery, they find something that makes no sense. It appears to be a gear, a piece of a clockwork mechanism. Such an object has no place in the ancient world. The widespread knowledge of precision gearing is a product of the last few hundred years. To find such an artifact in a tomb thousands of years old is a paradox. It's like finding a smartphone in the tomb of Tutankhamun. Could a culture have existed that reached a high level of mechanical sophistication, only to be completely erased by time and the jungle? What other impossible knowledge might still be buried, waiting? We have journeyed to the Earth's green heart and returned with more questions than answers. Each of these 15 discoveries is a profound disruption, a piece of evidence that simply should not exist in the timeline we have so carefully constructed. A consistent narrative emerges. We have profoundly underestimated the ancient world, and we are reminded how easily its greatest achievements can be swallowed by time. If this much was found, what is still waiting beneath the jungle?